Hello, hello, beautiful soul. Shanna here, your magical mindset coach. I named my business Magical Mindset because something magical happens when you start doing personal development and working on yourself, especially after a life filled with loss and trauma. So that is what I'm going to talk to you about today is personal development and why those of us who have had loss and trauma in our lives really need to embrace personal development. So, first of all, let's dive into what is personal development. I recently had someone close to me ask me, what is personal development, when I was talking about it to them. So it made me realize that maybe not everybody knows what that even is. So, personal development is a lifelong process of consciously improving oneself, encompassing activities that enhance self awareness, acquire new skills, foster continuous self improvement. It's about realizing your full potential and becoming the best version of yourself, both personally and professionally. And I have personally found personal development, self improvement to be completely life changing. So, to give you some context on my background, almost 10 years ago, I was in a very dark place. My mom had passed away. And before that, I've had multiple traumas and losses in my life leading up to that. So when my mom passed away, I was just in a dark place and, got to a point where I was contemplating suicide and I just did not want to deal with the heaviness of life anymore. It was just too much to bear. And I had a very profound spiritual experience that I won't go into detail here, but it made it very apparent that I was not supposed to give up. It was not my time, and I needed to find a way to push through and figure it out. And that's how I got turned on to personal development. And I started slow. I started reading a little bit, listening to podcasts, just trying to work on my mindset, trying to find people who had been in similar situations. And it was completely life changing. So, let's talk a little bit about what is personal development? What activities are included? So, therapy, counseling can be considered personal development. Reading nonfiction books, listening to audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks on Audible quite often. Listening to podcasts, like I've already mentioned. There's a few that I really like, and I will give those to you at the end of this video. Getting a coach can also be very helpful. Investing in courses, like online programs, things. I've taken multiple online programs to help with mindset and learn new skills, and it's been invaluable. Learning a new skill, journaling, meditation, seeking out different perspectives, continuous learning, I have found very helpful for me. Mindfulness, exercise, challenging limiting beliefs, self care, and volunteering. All of those activities can be considered personal development because they are challenging you to get out of your comfort zone, challenging you to change perspectives, and grow and learn a new skill or become better in some area. Why is personal development important? So, research shows that personal development is especially important for people with trauma and loss in their background because it provides a pathway to healing, empowerment, and transformation. And I have found that to be true for me as well. Looking back to where I was 10 years ago, I am 100 times better mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually than I was when I first started. And that is why I'm starting this business, because I want to help people pull themselves out of the darkness, get out from under the heaviness of life that comes with a life full of trauma and loss, the way that I did. And I'm hoping that I can help you do it much faster than I did. And here's why personal development is so important for those of us with trauma and loss in our background. It helps us reclaim control of our lives. Trauma and loss often come with a sense of helplessness. We didn't have control in that situation, and so it takes our control away from us. And so personal development helps us regain a sense of agency. We get to choose how we grow, how we think, how we're going to respond. And it helps us shift the narrative from this happened to me and I'm a victim to I can choose how to heal and not let this define me. It also helps us heal our self worth. Um, those of us that have been through trauma know that it can deeply impact our self esteem and our self worth. Our identity becomes wrapped up around what happened to us. So, personal development work helps us become self aware, allows us to be compassionate towards ourselves, helps us set goals that can help us rebuild that confidence and restore a sense of inner value and inner worth. It also helps us develop emotional resilience. Tools like mindfulness, emotional regulation, and healthy coping strategies help people respond to triggers or difficult emotions without being overwhelmed. This creates emotional strength and safety from within. And I personally have found mindfulness and meditation to be completely life changing. So I'm creating a course around that I will talk to you about soon. But it's been, 10 minutes of meditation a day and incorporating mindfulness into my day has completely changed my life. So I highly encourage everyone to do that. And personal development also helps us create a new narrative. Those of us with a history of trauma, we wrap up our identity in the trauma. We start to believe that we're not safe, that there's something wrong with us, we're broken, or I don't matter, nobody loves me. Personal development helps us challenge those beliefs because ultimately they are not true. We are worthy. We are amazing individuals. Every single one of us on this planet is an amazing individual. And so we have to challenge those beliefs that become ingrained from experiencing trauma and loss. And personal development helps us challenge those beliefs and then replace them with better beliefs, more empowering beliefs like I am healing, I have a purpose, I am enough, I am worthy of love. It also helps us improve relationships. When we heal ourselves, we learn how to better communicate, we learn how to set boundaries. And we even become more empathetic with ourselves and with others, which can help repair current relationships and get rid of relationships that are no longer serving us and form healthier relationships in the future with ourselves and with others. And it also helps us find meaning and purpose. So loss and trauma can shake our worldview. Those of us that have been through it know that those types of things can completely pull the rug out from under us. And then what we once knew is no longer true. Our world is collapsing around us. And it's hard. It's painful. Everything changes. Everything changes. And so personal development helps us make sense of that pain. It helps us put a meaning on it that is more empowering than the one we currently have. It can help us have a better spiritual connection, and it can lead us to a very fulfilling purpose in life, transforming strength, no, transforming suffering into strength and insight. For those of us that are parents, it also helps us break generational cycles. So, for anyone familiar with epigenetics, what we go through, and specifically trauma, changes our genetic makeup, which is then passed down to our children. And also our behaviors, the way we talk to ourselves and others, all of that is passed down to our kids. So we can break that generational cycle by doing personal development, improving ourselves, healing ourselves, becoming the best version of ourselves possible. And then we pass that gift on to our children, which is amazing. I'm doing that with my 5-year-old right now, and it feels good. And of course I'm not perfect, but each generation, I like to think that each generation gets better than the next. So personal development is not just self-improvement for people with trauma. It is a vital, vital part of recovery and reclaiming one's life. And I have found that to be true for myself. So, but I get it. Not everybody wants to read these long books and dive into the research like I do. I personally find it fascinating. I could do that for hours, but I know that not everybody is like that. And so my intent with this business I'm creating and these videos I'm creating is to share what I've learned on my journey. And I'm trying to keep it in digestible, short content videos, because I know most of us are extremely busy. And so adding in, an hour long, 2 hour long training into your day doesn't seem feasible right now. But if you can fit in 10 minutes a day or 10 minutes a week to do things, it can make a huge, huge difference. 1% improvement a day leads up to like 30% improvement at the end of the year. So small steps do matter. You do not need to have an all or nothing attitude with personal development and healing. It's a process, and a little bit goes a long way over time. So I want you to keep that in mind. And my intent is to help kind of break down some of the research and help you digest it in small increments. So, how do you start in personal development? Like I was just saying, you start small. You want to pick one thing and add it to your daily routine. For me, when I was first starting, I was deep, deep in the darkness. So half the time I couldn't even get out of bed that day. So what I started with was listening to podcasts, something positive, something on mindset. Some of my favorite when I was first getting started is Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory. Some of his earlier podcasts or YouTube videos are fabulous. So I highly recommend him. Mel Robbins also has great information. And then I'll be starting my Magical Mindset podcast at some point. So That will be another option coming soon. You could also pick a book from my recommended reading list. I'll give you the website on the next slide, but I have compiled a list of all the books I read over the last 10 years, and I need to add more as I go. I think I might change it to like an Excel spreadsheet so I can add in there as I go. But there's a really good list of books that you can start with. And if you just pick one that speaks to you and start reading for 10 minutes a day, it can really start to impact your mindset and start moving you in the right direction. On my resources page, I also have a short mindfulness meditation that you can get started with. And like I said before, 10 minutes of meditation a day has completely changed my life. And I will have a whole course on mindfulness and meditation that helps you walk through how to implement it, how to get started, how to make it a part of your daily routine. But in the meantime, if you just want to get started and try it out, there's a free meditation on the resources page of my website that you can download and get started with. And even just doing that meditation every day in the morning will greatly impact you. Another thing that's really good to do is journaling. The research around journaling it's impressive. And just being completely honest with you, journaling is one thing I have not been able to stay consistent with, but I will say it helps, especially if I'm feeling down or frustrated or angry. If I write what I'm feeling down, it really helps. So even if you just start with doing that and not doing a daily journaling practice, even that is really helpful. Things like taking a short walk every day, just getting outside for 10 minutes every day. Another great option is Growth Day, the Growth Day app Brendan Burchard created. He is one of my favorite personal development coaches, and I've read many of his books. I'm a member of Growth Day. I do it every single day, and I will share the link in the show notes if you want to do a free trial of his app, but it is fabulous. So that's another option if you're ready to go hard and dive in every day. And then the Magic of Mindfulness and Meditation course. That's my course. It's launching on June 16th in honor of my mama. That's her birthday. And, because she's kind of the reason I've been on this journey and now want to help others. So that's another good option if you really want to dive in to mindfulness and meditation and get going with that. So as I mentioned, free resources on my website. You can go to magicalmindset.com and then click on resources. And right now I have a recommended reading list that you can download. And oh my goodness. Oh, and the 10-minute mindfulness meditation. There will be more free resources coming as time goes on. And also, let me know what kind of resources would be helpful to you. I want to get some ideas from you and have your input and really know what you need and how I can help you. I hope you found this video informational. I hope it was helpful to learn what personal development is and how it can help you, why it's so important for those of us with trauma and loss in our backgrounds to embark on a personal development journey. And I really hope to help you pull yourself out of that darkness and get out from under the heaviness of life. Have a great day.